My name is Steve. I'm a secondary teacher of English at EMASI Vạn Phúc campus. I'm also the campus coordinator here. Well, I think most teachers would say that the reason that we love our jobs would be the students, and the EMASI students are pretty special. I love coming in here and watching the way they respond and how quickly they learn. Some of the personalities really make my day really fun and interesting. But rather than thinking about the students alone, we could look at the facilities here. The facilities are fantastic. From the swimming pool to the soccer fields, the library is amazing, the gym, the climbing wall. There's just so much going on in this school, the way we support all the different aspects of life. And it helps prepare the students for a successful future, which is what I like to teach for. It's the reason I teach. One of the reasons that I applied for the role here is that the ideology of the school matches my own. They're very interested in preparing students for a life outside school, outside the academic world, and we want students to be ready for a global world. I feel the same way, and it's clear that the leadership team here support that through and through. So I feel comfortable coming in and addressing all the challenges that we have with a new school, knowing that my feelings and my passion that I have is mirrored by the team that supports me. Well, there's so many. It's really hard to pick just one. The only thing I can think of right now is that I recall telling my students that a particular favourite student of mine was doing really well at my university abroad. She had graduated a few years ago and she's studying where I used to study. The EMASI students were listening to me carefully, and one of them stood up and said, "Teacher, I want to be your favourite student. That's my goal." So it was funny, but it was also really quite humbling to hear that that's what they wanted. It's been really interesting. The students are remarkably polite. They respond really well to what we ask them to do. I think they understand that we have their best interests at heart, that we're trying really hard to help them prepare for their future. And as a result of that, we generally find it very easy to work with them. It can take a little bit longer sometimes. We have to be very patient with our students, but they're quickly adapting and they're beginning to settle into a routine of the mixed academic worlds that they're living in right now. That's the Vietnamese program and the international program. Ultimately, it's a really happy crew. I really like the kids that are here, and I can see it just getting better and better every year. Well, the obvious difference is the heavy focus on the project-based learning. So we spend a lot of time trying to introduce the students to aspects of real life as part of their learning experience. Rather than just focusing on the grammar and the vocab as being the core of what we do, we focus on functional, practical tools that will help them prepare for the real world. The grammar and the vocab is part of that, it just comes naturally, but we're more interested in the communicative side and in particular the soft skills. We think that's an area that's lacking a little bit in Vietnamese kids. We need to give them the opportunity to be able to transition into study abroad environments and also local university environments with more of an international way of thinking. I think the EMASI program, with its exposure to the arts, the way we look at science and English and ICT and maths all as part of one larger picture, I think that really sets the students up for a future which is more realistic. It fits the way that the rest of the world works. Well, overall, I'm going to say it's the teachers. I'm going to say it's the amount of care that we have. Any school can have an amazing curriculum, it can have incredible facilities, and this one does have great facilities, but it's only able to be successful if the teachers themselves care enough to put the time into the students. And I see teachers here that are extremely patient, very dedicated and professional, and they really want the best outcomes for the students. So we're challenged by a lot of things, sometimes on a daily basis, but that's the teacher's life. My parents were both teachers, I grew up with that. And I can see that in our situation here at EMASI, we've got a really good group of teachers. That's what I think would make our students successful, make their parents happy, make them happy in the long term. At this particular stage, I'm focusing completely on giving everything I can to setting up the school. I don't want to look too far ahead. I just want to look at the next 2 or 3 years, making sure that everything's running smoothly, that the students are getting a genuine international education. So from a teacher development standpoint, I'm looking at using a lot more technology in a much more effective way, introducing that technology across the whole curriculum and making sure that our students walk away from their school life with their knowledge of the same technology. Longer term, it's hard to say at this stage. I've got a lot of experience in Vietnam and it would be wise for me to put that to use somehow, but let's wait and see. At the moment, teaching is my primary purpose and I love it so much I don't want to think too much beyond that.
EMASI, School of the Avant-Garde.